Hi, I'm Weather Analyst Andrew Fleck. Just around your Tuesdays evening for a Tuesdays model discussion. Today we're not going to talk about a map outlook. The weather's been pretty calm overall, but we're going to talk about a Tuesdays model discussion. Uh, Today seems a little bit fit for that. There will be times where I do a model discussion and a map outlook at the same day, but today it's a little lopsided, so we're going to do a model discussion. Looking at the layout here, it's a little more different. A little more zoomed, so I hope it's better to see when I go through the models. What we're going to do here is go through the pattern change. It seems like we're getting very close to winter. The whole United States is, from that northern jet finally starting to sink southward like it did in October. And we're looking for that to finally move back south into the United States and possibly stay there. So what I'm going to do is go into the three contributors that are going to bring this whole new pattern back into the United States. And it's not going to be blocking, it's not going to be high pressures, but it's going to be storms. So what I'm going to do is talk about three storms, where they come from, and the effects they have on the jet and pattern, and really winter itself. So going on to the first slide, it's going to be number one. And number one is the storm that affected Denver with a lot of snow. A foot of snow, I think it was. And that storm is now moving over to the northeast and mid-Atlantic. Now, looking at the imagery here, what we're going to show you here is by Friday, this storm, that cold pocket probably giving a few flurries to the upper Great Lakes, but all in all, the storm is going to be up around the Great Lake regions, the northeast regions, and what that's going to then do is move off into Nova Scotia, and that is then going to capture the northern jet. So now the northern jet is going to react to that and pull into the western and central United States, which I will show you on slide number 2. But before I do that, I just want to give you guys a question. Can you find the 540? Now, not the blocking or that pocket 540 around the Michigan area, but can you find it, the northern jet 540 in this imagery here? Well, if you couldn't, it's wrapped around the Pacific and into the central to northern Canada region. And that's impressive, because anyone who saw this imagery here would say, where's winter and what season are we in? This isn't spring, is it? No, this is the beginning of a major pattern that is going to be coming down. Before anything, okay, we usually go into a very positive stance before we go into a deep negative prolonged standstill of colder weather, and that's kind of come with the second storm, or after the first storm, whichever way you want to put it. This is going to be the second storm down here in Texas. This is going to be the next mini storm that some are saying it's going to be just a mini nor'easter or something to watch toward the coming week on next Monday. Now, all in all, the way I see it is, I want to see the models bring this into short range, and then we can debate on that. But what it's going to do in the Northeast is not too much more than maybe half of what the storm was last week that gave so many people power outages, state of emergencies. Storms should not be even half of what that was, but still it's going to be something to watch. And that will be storm number 2. Storm number 2 is then going to wrap across the coast here, and what that's going to do is then move in the same track that the first one did up to Nova Scotia, and that's going to bring the northern jet down again. The first storm, okay, reached the northern jet and started to now bring down a colder shot. Now, what is this one going to do, okay, in the next 5 days? Well, we're going to go and see that. But before we do, take note that the millibars are very tight down here, and usually what that means is there could be a storm that pops out of that. And given that all the storms have formed around Texas, and you have a deepening around this area here, there's going to be a big storm probably forming there too. But I'm going to caution you guys that the next imagery is in the longer range. It's not something to be getting excited up for. If anything, I would be taking any imagery up to this point seriously. Any further on, and I would not. So the third storm is going to be the outcome of the second storm. A big nor'easter on the east coast again. Now, again, this is still in the longer range. It's not too much to take serious about, but what it does, okay, is it does bring that pattern in, and that first cold shot pattern into the east. and I can't believe I'm even saying it, but could this finally be the change of pattern that we finally want to see here happen? That pattern where a lot of folks headline it as the Polar Express, the Siberian Express, the Frigid Freeze. So many people name this shot, and it's usually that first main prolonged shot that starts to come over the first upper Midwest and then leaks into the Northeast. Could it be? Maybe, maybe not. Right now we're still in the long range, but once this storm and this pattern starts to enter into the medium range, that's when I would start really sitting here and scratching my head and really start to get concerned about this, because or excited, because this seems to be like winter's finally arriving. Given now, given the storm, given the temperatures and such, I wouldn't go and take that seriously. But I can't help to say though, given the last imagery, given this imagery, it's awful consistent from short range to long range. I mean, I've never seen that before, so I can't help but to believe it. Now, all these three storms, what are they going to do? What are all these three storms going to then set up to be? Well, we're going to go to the next imagery here and see. So after three storms, what does the pattern come out to be? Well, it comes out to be a pretty picture-perfect pattern, and that is the back to October pattern that we saw, and that was the ridge over the west and a trough over the east. And so it's that back-to-back pattern, a negative pattern in the east, a positive in the west, and probably a negative in the Arctic, as a lot of folks will say, well, it looks only to be colder into the east, just maybe for a few days, as this ridge is probably going to come back down and warm up the east again. Well, looking at this front here that's coming through, maybe not. Maybe this comes and squishes this high and you get another cold shot come through. I don't know why I'm talking about this, because it's very long range, but the only imagery or the only storm that I would be focusing on before the major pattern change would be the storm right here, the second storm. This is the storm that I would be watching more, because this is going to be the one that sets up what the third one, if there is a third one, is going to do. If this one moves or shatters inland more, well, then the whole models that I explained tonight are going to be totally different. If it goes east or where it is right now, well, then what you're going to see is pretty much what I just showed you tonight. So it all depends on really what the second storm does. That second storm is going to lay the track out for the third one, and perhaps the winter pattern. All in all, what I showed you tonight was just a glimpse. I will be doing model discussions every day this week, continuing to show you what is changing, what is not. So again, that's pretty much it for tonight. Given the new layout on this page here too, as you see on the bottom of this video, there is a comment fill out page. Feel free to fill out a comment or email me. I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as possible, answer any questions or concerns that you may have. So that is it for the analysis model discussion. Hope you guys have a good late Tuesday and a good early Wednesday. I will talk to you guys on Wednesday afternoon. So have a good one. I'm Weather Analyst Andrew Fleck, signing off for Analysis WX.